Hello, small figure collectors. These are the smallest of the posable Gundams that I'm aware of. The Senshi line of Gashapon Gundams. So these usually, I think, come in those little gumball machines with the plastic capsules. But, I don't know. I bought this online and it came like this. Alright, so this is a whole collection of the Gashapon Senshi -07 collection, the 7th of the Dash series. I don't really understand why they changed the name so much. It was like Senshi, Senshi Forte, Senshi Dash, Senshi Premier. There's a lot of Senshi lines. I don't know which is the most active of them. But here are the robots that we're going to see. I think that's Gundam 00, GN 40s. And, well, I guess we'll see them when we open them. I don't know if there's a mystery one. See, that says next. So, oh, here we go, 2016. Maybe August 2016 these came out. Ew, I wonder if that actually has a stand. That'll be neat. Looks like the same piece of paper for all of them. In no particular order, let's just open these up. Alright, so this thing is actually sealed together. And these joints are very fidgety very often. But this is the Razor, the airplane that can attach to the back of the 00. So you know what, I will keep one of these things handy just so I know what the thing's supposed to look like. So here's the cockpit, obviously. Then we have a wing. There we go. So these are all nice and flexible plastic or rubber. I have a suspicion they're PVC, but I don't know for sure. But the nice thing about the flexibility is you could boil it in water and it'll straighten out if it comes up, arrives all warped and stuff. But most importantly is if it falls off a bookshelf, it's not going to break. Hold on, I think this thing is on the top, this stud. You could drop this all day long and nothing's going to break, so that's why I like this material. I'm not sure where these guns are supposed to be stored. Oh, well, I guess it would probably make sense there. But they're... And then there is a peg down there for this peg stand. And it's hard to see in that image, but I'm going to go with this for the orientation. Alright, so there's a little text on the bottom if it should interest you. B China, some sort of number, production number. So that is the Razor, GNR Guns N' Roses -010. Alright, let's go with this, the Torohachi. This is some sort of like little mech robot that people can get into to do construction or lift equipment and stuff. I will say this doesn't look so hot. The silver, there just isn't enough of it. You can see a lot of the yellow coming through. So it might require a little extra paint effort on your behalf. So the feet here, they seem to be symmetric, so I don't think there's a difference whether you put it on the left or right. You can see there's a bit of like a ball on the end of these, so you can pose them hopefully a little bit more than just in one axis. Although it does kind of want to fall out of that cup. Careful not to tear that thing off. Alright, so clearly you can, go beyond this one axis of rotation. So you can splay the legs out a little bit. And again, if anything's warped, just dip it in hot water and it should hopefully straighten it out. Or you can straighten it out and then run it under cold water, and then it'll harden in the set location. Alright, so yeah, the little arms here. They're like claws painted just a dark gray. No movement though. Okay. But the shoulder does move, so that's good. Alright, very good, very good. And then there's like a fuel, fuel tank / thruster here for the back. Alright, so that's probably supposed to go like that. Alright, nice friction fit. And now with the rest of this is the stand. It's interesting. They had to fit it into the capsule, so they had to break this thing in half. But it actually goes together pretty nice. So this looks like a ball cup here, so I assume that goes there with the ball on the end of it. Then this thing here, the holes are hexes, the shaft is round, so it should be pretty good. Won't tear the peg, hopefully. It's two ends, it seems. Like, this is one end, but no, that's too big. I guess this is the only piece that's actually meant to go into the Torohachi. This little small peg here. I guess you could just do that. I suppose that's the intention. So you can actually pose this pretty high up. Like, really high up. That seems a little bit crazy. And so now curiosity makes me wonder if I could put the razor on this thing. I don't know if the peg is a different size. Oh, the peg was on this. But you see this, unfortunately this is too small, but this is too big. So this stand will not fit the razor whatsoever. Well, that's unfortunate. Now we know. Yeah, I think this narrow part has to go in the front, just to clear these weapons. Well, I guess it's nice to have such a diverse stand, even if it is for such a little character. You can get it really low, or high, or whatever. I like that one the most so far. Granted, we got a bunch more to go. The more robot-looking robots, Gundam-looking style. So this is a Gundam wing. It looks like XXG-010. Gundam wing. So here's your frame parts. So this is the torso bit, and these are really fidgety to put together. You don't need to trim them off, I find. Just rotate them out of there. These seem to be a rigid plastic. Alright, so the hard part is just getting these things together. They're so small. Like, they're really painful on your fingertips. But you hear that snapping? That means that thing is not going to come apart. There's this little ridge you can see. Well, there you go. See that little ridge on that? On both posts. Yep, nice positive clicking sound. So I really wish, like, the cross silhouette series needs to learn from this line. The cross silhouette joints are horrible. They don't snap together. They just work loose all the time. Boy, that thing's small. Okay. Alright, so historically, you want to take the skirt thing. At least I like to start with that. And then peg this thing up in there. Alright. I don't know. I assume this is the front end. Just looking at that tiny image. Yeah, I guess it is. So then the torso. So again, there's a ridge on this post. So you can see kind of a groove up in that hole. So this thing will not fall apart very easily. I mean, you can still take it apart, but it's not going to fall apart just by holding it or posing it. In fact, I can't actually get that thing in there. Come on. Alright, I think it's in there now. Or maybe not. I don't think it's positively clicked in. Okay. So nice green and gold paint on the vents. You can see the shoulder area is cupped out to clear those joints. The legs have no articulation other than the hip itself, but the foot, the knee, there's no articulation. And I think that's to be expected for something this tall. It's nice that the feet are red though. And they are splayed out. But you can get them pretty far in. There is a peg hole for a stand. Okay, I think I didn't push those in enough. Alright. So now the arms, they have like a cylinder recess for this joint. And I don't think it matters which side you put in. The pegs are the same dimensions. But boy, this is really difficult to get in there. Okay, I twist it on maybe. Wow, maybe I can. That's tough. Same on this side. I think I did break one of these once, so I'm a little cautious. I heard one side click. I think they're both in now, maybe. It's weird. It's not resting in there. Maybe it's not supposed to rest in there. Or I think I put it in the wrong joint. Let's try this smaller joint on this side and see what happens. That doesn't seem right though. I think I'm missing something here. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm missing. The big joint here doesn't go into the arm. It goes into the shoulder piece. Alright, so luckily that stayed in place. Okay. But the gold is in the front. Alright, 2 clicks there. So now the small joint here is for the arm. That goes up in there. Oh, I think I messed up because the shield is probably supposed to be on this side. I'm just a bumbling mess here. Getting this out is going to be difficult. I'm going to just use pliers. Okay. I don't get the clicking sound on that one. Alright, so it's quite amazing that this thing has, you know, this arm articulation and shoulder articulation. There's the head. Just going to rotate really, no pivoting front or back. And then we have some metallic green paint which matches these eyes, which I think are I can't tell if those are, I think they're paint. For a moment I thought they were translucent plastic, but I think they're just paint. And this antenna piece is already painted. That goes in there. The shield. Some minor details molded into the backside. There's a couple peg shapes for the shield. I wonder if they could be used somewhere else. And this backpack thing has an L shape to it, and there's an L-shaped hole in the back. And there's 2 peg holes there for the wings themselves, which I'm gonna... Are they equal? Yeah, they seem to be symmetric. And that one's stained, so I'm gonna put down that side there. Come on. Alright. You might want to glue some pieces in place, especially if you know that they don't need to come apart. So you do have some wing articulation in and out, of course. You know, if that thing was a round peg, then you could pose the wings upside down, but because it is an L shape, no can do. And now I'm seeing this rectangular peg on the shield, I think, will allow it to go into this. If you want to have the shield on the back like that. But then you have this ugly peg just sticking out of the forearm. So I think I'm kind of just going to leave it like this. You can see the hands have two round holes, and you can put the gun in either side then. But naturally with the shield on one side, I'm going to put the gun on this side. Rotate that a little bit. It's quite a tight fit. Wow, that's really concerning. Like, that's tear off the peg kind of tight. You might want to do this with some water. Alright, well, I don't want to take that apart. I'll probably destroy it. Well, the gun has decent enough molded details. The body as well. Just looking over this whole thing now. Yeah, alright. For something, again, so small. And you might ask yourself, because it's been a while since I've done a Senshi review. Height-wise, up to the top of the antenna, it's like 55 millimeters, or a little bit over 2 inches. Crazy. So sadly, there's no actual stand, even though it has a stand hole. But it'll stand on its own. Alright, so this next one. So all the same joints and all that stuff. So this time I'll try to remember, you actually need to put the shoulders on first. You know what, I think to save time, I'll just open all these, and when I have the joints all put together, this blue one I think is Vayeate, red is Mercurius, and then that one I just opened is 00. Let me come back after I get all those joints popped together. Alright, I actually built one side of it as well to save a little time. Alright, so let's pop this little center peg system in here. And then it looks like this round bit is on the front. So then where's the torso? I guess that's up in place. No, I feel like it should go more. Getting that peg in there is really difficult. Seems to be the case with all these little things, but alright, but it's in there now. And then the legs. No additional paint on these legs, it's just all red. There's a little green venting though up here in the chest, which is kind of nice. Can't seem to focus. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. These little grooves. A little gray up here as well. Alright. So, yeah, I take that big joint here. Pop that in. Then you have this big round ball-like shoulder with a metallic pink on it. Alright. And the front has gray. The back does not. Then you take the small hinge. I like to have the smooth side on the outside. I guess it doesn't matter for this arm because it's going to get trapped anyways. You won't see it. Okay, so that's it. And the head. Well, this is neat. Yeah, a little green paint there, some gray. And some sort of like, I guess that metallic pink. Although a little too much here. Yeah, I'll leave it alone. And then, yeah, this is a little bit bent. In fact, this is a little bent. So let's see about the other one. I think I'm going to come back after I boil these and straighten them out. This one's okay. How's this? This is a little, that's really bent. So I'm going to have to boil that. Maybe this wants to be bent because it's like a chain mine. I think I'll leave that one the way it is. Alright, yep, just I'll put them in boiling water and then ran cool water into it. This is interesting, this antenna piece here. I feel like there's not much sticking into the head. That might want to be crazy glued in place. Can't focus. There's just so little touching, getting in there. I'll deal with it later though. Man, that neck peg is really tough. Okay. Alright. So, yeah, around 90 degrees bending there. Forward back for the leg is okay. In and out, not much there. Obviously the torso can spin, and so the head can spin as well. And then yeah, the whole arm will spin and pivot up and down. Okay. So there's a little gun here. Either hand will hold it. I guess we'll put it in this hand for this time around. And that one fit in a lot less tight than that first one. So that's a cool little gun. And so we got these chain mine looking things. Or are they shields? I forget. I think they might create a force field. And being round pegs, you could rotate those, but I think it's supposed to be something like that. So that one looks pretty cool. Just a little bit too messy on the paint app. Well, let's do Vayeate next. Save the double O, the star of the show, for last. Alright, so where's the hip thing? Going up into the skirt. This is the brother to the Mercurius, to my understanding. This Mercurius has more paint, it looks like. No, I'm mistaken. The waist of that red Mercurius is also metallic pink. This one, Vayeate, has a metallic blue waist. I didn't even notice before. Boy, that thing is tough. Alright. Well, that's how I know that's not in, because it shouldn't tilt to the side. Alright. So same thing here. The shoulder, the big joint goes in there. To the chest. And then the small joint for the arm. It's going to get trapped by this. This one seems better painted so far. I think I'll put the head on first. This one's got a purple metallic optic sensor. Yeah, the paint app is much better on this one. Don't know if that head is on that peg properly. It seems canted forward quite a bit. Maybe. And then again, there isn't much of this to go into the head. I don't know why, because the head is so big. I feel like they could have made that. Oh, maybe because the peg hole is there for the neck. Well, I gotta say, it still isn't falling out, but I do feel like I want to crazy glue that in place. Alright, so this thing has, I think this is also maybe a force field generator. And you can just pick which side to put it on. I think it's maybe this side. Definitely less visible. And then this gun here has two grips. The grip makes sense there. And this is recessed, so you could add some paint in there very easily. I'm a little curious though. Let's pose this shield on the hand. maybe if we do this, it's the same size, so you could carry that shield up front. Interesting. Oh, see, that antenna piece fell out. And then I'm a little curious as to why. Can you get both hands around this gun? I don't think you can. Possible. Yeah, alright. But you, it's not really... Well, I guess it can be done. It can hold the weapon with both hands, but all the pegs are really stretched out. So I wouldn't advise doing that. Everything is stretching. So I'm a little curious. Why would you? No. I guess it doesn't make sense to just hold it with one hand on the front peg. So back to that. And then all these things look normal again. I'm gonna have to crazy glue this antenna in. Alright, let's do the last one. Where's the hip piece? I'm assuming this red must be the front, because it's only on one side, the red. And this one actually goes around. Seems to trap this gray piece a little bit better. Okay. So the feet are of red paint. Now, the shoulder here, get the big joint in there. All right. So notice this white peg here. So this little piece goes onto that. And I gotta say, this is a really tight fit. But if you take it off, it'll probably stretch the hole. My concern is being so tight. If you try to rotate it, it might tear the peg off. But that's gonna allow this GN drive shield kind of piece here, which also has a super tight hole. So you can rotate that, and yes, the hip thing is not up in there. It's kind of weird. I don't see the lip that traps this gray hip piece. Oh yeah, the arm, and this is going to get trapped as well on both sides, but you can see a little bit of this joint, so I'm going to put the smooth on the outside. Okay. Last is the head. And you can see nice metallic green eyes, hopefully, if I could focus. And the GN drives on the head. And the little red chin. Okay. That's loose too. I'm gonna want to crazy glue that. And then you got the underarm weapon thing. Very tight fit. Ah, boy. I see that joint popped out. Did snap in there, but it's still not a tight fit. Alright, so this one seems the coolest as far as the amount of parts goes. It's just that you can see, like that one, it's trying to back off, it seems, because the peg is a little bit, I think, too big. So if you don't care about posing it, you might want to actually crazy glue these 3 pieces of the shoulder together. Otherwise it's just gonna gap out. Alright, now, so the question is, what parts of this razor fit on? And it seems like these 2 are meant to go into these holes here. So you could do that. Yep, there's a hole back here. I don't know if this is meant for this. It looks like it is. So with that said, I think you actually put the whole plane on this thing. No, that doesn't make sense. No. Unless this is backwards, maybe. See, that peg is getting in the way if I put it up. So I guess you cannot put this part of the plane on here. It's just kind of weird to have these open holes there, though, and especially in that. Oh, but I guess now you can put the plane on this. But now you got these pegs just sitting around doing nothing. Kind of weird. And then I guess, yeah, this character can wield these weapons as either a gun or more like a sword. I'm thinking, take these wings up, these things up, put them back here. So you can basically store most of the razor, minus the 2 weapons, onto the back of this character. Alright. But yeah, you can't store both weapons, it looks like. I wonder if you could put this here. No. I wonder if these shafts will go into those holes. Oh, look at that. It is not probably designed to do this, but you could store those swords back there in those holes. Okay. So then the other thing you're left with is the stand. Alright, interesting. So just to compare to Converge, so it's the Converge Mercurius has this shield, so that's one thing that was missing from this particular one. And I also learned by looking at Converge, you can store the gun on the back, and you can do that on this this Senshi F. So you get an idea of the height difference isn't actually that much if you take the base, you know, remove the base of this thing. But here's the double O with the razor from the core, the very first of the core converges. So now you can see the height difference a little bit between those 2. The core has a lot of extra printing as well. Alright. So, Converge, you know, they have more details. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But the Converges really don't articulate. The only thing that articulates are the shoulders and the head. The legs have no movement whatsoever. The elbows almost never bend. The hands can rotate, but it's not a big deal. So if you want the smallest of the Gundams that you can actually pose, that's the Senshi line, Gashapon Senshi. And I think for, you know, what they are, I think they're pretty good. I mean, unless they're mostly painted, you could obviously spend time painting them further. They have a lot of molded details that you could add panel liner to or whatnot. So I like them. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you the next time we get some more Senshis in. Bye.